Sunday morning. I am in Gurney Mills, Illinois, and I'm driving to play a gig in Chicago. All right, now Lauren is with me.
Hello.
We are moving to Chicago. Moving as in like in a vehicle. We are on our way. So playing at St. Andrew's Lutheran Church this morning. Should be pretty fun. 9:30 service. Should get there actually about an hour and 15 minutes early. It's very important to always show up early for gigs because you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully nothing happens this time around, but especially in a city like Chicago where you're not, traffic can, be crazy, and parking is also going to be an issue, but we'll figure it out. Looking forward to the gig.
It's still too early though.
My life wasn't perfect, yeah, I know that now. When it came crashing down, all I know is that I need you around. When it comes crashing down, all I need is not to feel so much alone. So step inside my zone, baby, you can give me everything I want.
We just finished up at church this morning, and now we are heading back to Wisconsin.
Back to Wisconsin. We might stop somewhere.
Yes.
Eat on the way in
Don't know where
Illinois.
Maybe
but
get an icy.
Gig went really well. Everyone's always has a blast.
It's fun.
Especially with this church. It's a really tiny church, so they don't really have that. Like I'll tell you later, but I had to play along with a digital. The organist wasn't able to make it this morning, so I played piano. I probably put clips of that beforehand anyway, so you know that. But yeah, it was a fun gig. Headed back home. It
Very
paid pretty well.
Church.
So
very pretty church.
very pretty church. Pastor here is great. Always is.
Traffic.
I like the view of the city though. It's cool. I've always wanted to live in a big city, but one thing I don't want to do in a big city is like drive or
Like what we're doing right now.
yeah, this sucks.
You're all I need now. Oh, it's crazy, but it's true. Oh, you're all I need. Hey, hey.
And back home. So yeah, I had a blast this morning playing at St. Andrew's Lutheran Church. I think it's in Chinatown. I might be wrong on that, but it's in a very Chinese area of Chicago, south of Chicago. It's still within the city, but it's on the southern half of it. Really, really tiny congregation. They used to have a school there, but they ended up selling it. But it's a Wisconsin Synod church down there. Really, really beautiful church. And if you're ever in the Chicago area, I would stop in. They've got an awesome pastor, Adam. His name's Adam. Adam Gawel, Gawel. I'm not sure. I think that's how you pronounce it. But him and his wife are so very nice. Last year when I played there, they brought Lauren and myself to Portillo's. They drove us there afterwards. Very, very nice people. So a lot of you might be wondering how I got a gig in Chicago. So this year I knew them and I told them, you know, I'll be back in Chicago this weekend if you want me to play, yada, yada, yada. But last year, all I did was I emailed them, hey, I'm in Chicago this weekend. I'm a student at University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, blah, blah, blah. Was wondering if I could play. Now, that weekend, I was actually just, you know, Lauren and I were in Chicago that weekend, just hanging out, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll play at a church or something. So they email back and ask how much I want. I was like, oh, I don't know. The $50, and then they respond back and said, yeah, we'll give you at least $50. And then I ended up getting much more at the gig that Sunday. And it was, you know, it's pretty easy. So I guess my point with this is you never know until you ask. A lot of people are just sitting around waiting to get gigs, but you really have to promote yourself. Don't be afraid to say, hey, can I play here? You know, and don't always ask for money. You never know. So that's my little spiel on playing gigs. They're out there. You just have to find them yourself. Almost all the gigs I'm doing this summer are gigs that I emailed and said, hey, would you like me to play? Hey, would you like me to play? Blah, blah, blah. And all of them pay. Some better than others, but they all pay. So, hey, I also forgot to mention, so this is the future of, doesn't matter. I'm about to go work out, but I also forgot to mention that this morning in church, there was no organist. So those clips were using a program called HymnSoft, which is a really cool program for churches that don't have organists. But I was playing with an electronic file, so it was kind of hard to line up just because I couldn't hear it as well. There's no cueing between the organist and I, so I just kind of had to guess. But, you know, you'll deal with that. And they were going to just play that in the background for like pre-service offering and stuff, and I was like, I'll just play piano. You know, I can do that for you guys. So you never know when your other skills are going to come in handy and how you can use them to your advantage at various gigs, you know? And I think that's an important thing to remember is always go above and beyond for whatever gig you're playing. That's how you get asked back. So everyone came up to me and was like, trumpet was great. Oh, so great to have a piano player, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just great to use those skills that you have, and you never know when they're going to come in handy. So, yeah, just thought I'd let you know about that. And I did know about it about 3 or 4 days ago. There's not much I can do to prepare for it. I'm glad they still had me play. So they paid me, and they didn't pay an organist that day, which is that's the first time I've ever done anything like that. But interesting experience. Obviously it's not as good as live musician, but it still worked pretty well. So I am going to end the vlog here. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it brought you some value. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like below. Subscribe to keep up to date with what I'm doing. Follow me on all the social medias. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.